Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eternal Midnight, and I am here with Chad, Erica, and Eric. How are you guys?
Good.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good as well.
Erica?
Good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
good. All right. So the HP series is finally done. We've covered books 1 to 7, but the Wizarding World story is not yet done. We have to cover the two Fantastic Beasts movies. The first movie, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and the second movie, Crimes of Grindelwald. So let's. Chad's already starting. He's already gonna. He's ready.
Oh,
Before we get
yeah.
to
Just wait till we get to that one. That'll
before we
be
get to Crimes of Grindelwald, let's start with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think we
a
can
good
all
one.
five of us that this is
In your opinion.
in my opinion, yes.
Well, no, Fantastic Beasts is great, but we disagree with regards to Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yes. So let's
Yeah.
start with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think we can all agree with being five of us. I think this movie is good, right, guys?
Yeah.
Kevin and Eric, you go first. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Alrighty, I'll go first. So the interesting part I found with Fantastic Beasts was like since it's not based on the novel, we won't entirely know what will happen in these films. So it's cool that we're in the same world but in a different time with new characters. So that was like an interesting thing that we got with the series. And it was pretty
Right.
refreshing since, the Harry Potter movies were based on books.
Also, what I liked was like instead of being in Europe for the first time, we got to a whole different continent, America, and see how life was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I agree with you there. I like seeing how the Wizarding World of America operates because we see how Wizarding World Britain operates. You know, the Ministry of Magic, and that's nice to see how things are different like in America, which is really cool. How about you, Erica? What are your thoughts?
I really liked it. I think it was really cool to see some new characters. I really, really liked Newt. He's literally the definition of Hufflepuff, and I'm a Hufflepuff, so I really liked that. I I have like specific points. Should I go over that?
Yeah. Go over it.
So I really like the way they introduced it with the newspaper clippings, like they did with the Harry Potter series. The American Ministry is really, really cool. I really like the way that they designed that, and I love that there's a woman president. I think that's great. That's one thing that I kind of like about this whole world in general, and might partly be because it was written by a woman, but with regards to gender, it seems to be pretty equal, and like for example, the Quidditch teams aren't divided by gender, things like that. So I like that a lot. I really like Jacob. I think it's really cool that they added in this a Muggle character who's not a wizard, and I think he's a really funny and good character as well. And I really like him and Queenie, which is kind of heartbreaking for Crimes of Grindelwald. The way they designed Newt's suitcase, that was really, really awesome. It's like, I think it was really smart that they thought of that, and I think the special effects with that whole thing is amazing. And like I said, I love Newt. I think he's very equal in that he doesn't have much hate in him, and I really like that a lot. And he's a total cinnamon roll, which is great. And that mating dance, oh my god, that was hilarious.
That was
You guys remember that? It was so funny. I could just imagine Eddie Redmayne like filming that and just feeling like a total dork, but like loving it too, you know?
He actually did that in an interview.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, well, I haven't seen it, so you guys should probably send it to me after the podcast. How about you, Chad? I mean, Eric, are you done or you're okay?
I just have one more thing. The music was really good. I liked that like they did this in the next one too, but I liked that they brought in there was little subtle hints of the like original score from Harry Potter that they brought in. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I think it's called Hedwig's Tale or
Hedwig's
song.
Theme.
Yeah, Hedwig's Theme. They brought in the chorus of that randomly in parts of it, which kind of gives you that little bit of reminiscing. And I also think Ezra Miller, who played Credence, I think he did a really good job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you, Chad?
I really enjoyed this one. I rewatched it last week for the first time in a long time, actually, and it's such a like a good breath of fresh air. It felt good just having a nice little like lighthearted adventure with some dark elements to them. But I also really enjoyed, I really enjoyed the character of Newt. He's nice, like kind of quirky guy. What I
Yes.
like about him. And Tina, I like how she kind of went from like don't break the rules to just kind of like getting a little more eased up. Jacob, probably the best character of the whole Fantastic Beasts movies so far. And I loved Queenie in this movie. I'll leave it at that for now.
In this movie.
Oh, in this movie. Credence was cool. I liked what they did with him in this movie. And it was cool seeing Colin Farrell in the movie. I really liked his role.
Oh yeah, no one talked about
Yeah.
He was just a badass like he always is. I mean, I'm one of those people who like I always like Colin Farrell, anything he's in. So, I mean, it was cool seeing him and what eventually came out of that. But I just wish he'd been able to stick around a little longer.
I heard that he's going to be in the third one. It's a rumor. It's not official, but I've been hearing.
It's because I was talking with Santino about that. I was like, it's unfortunate he's gone. I was like, so was his character killed before the movie? Was he ever real? But so who knows?
He had to be because Grindelwald was using polyjuice potion.
Yeah.
They got rid of it fast, though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was real. I was just not sure if he died or not. I mean, I thought.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's why I asked you because I know you'd know better than I would.
No, I don't.
Because
It's never stated if he got killed or not. Did he get killed, Erica? I mean, like.
No. Well, the way it ended, I actually just watched them yesterday. The way it ended was they had. Newt had kind of figured out there was something happening, so he had restrained him. And then Newt used Revelio on him, and then it kind of did a circle, and then we realized it was Gellert Grindelwald, so we didn't actually hear anything about his actual character. What I'm assuming is that Grindelwald had him captured somewhere, because he had it's like that whole thing in Goblet of Fire with Barty Crouch Jr. and Mad-Eye Moody.
I see. I thought.
The thing with that I've always wondered is like, couldn't Grindelwald have just like shaved the guy's head and then killed him or something?
I thought he killed.
I think polyjuice potion has to be someone that's alive.
Oh.
I think it's something specific with that.
I don't know. You guys know the rules for that better than I do.
I don't delve into polyjuice potion that much. That's my new detail.
Every other Thursday, once a month.
I have a whole stock of polyjuice in my cupboard, though. You can borrow some if you want. So what did you like about Fantastic Beasts, Santino?
I like the new characters. I like Newt. He's really like a sweet Hufflepuff, and as much as I like Harry and the trio, seeing Newt and the way he handles things like a Hufflepuff would do with all the care, it's really a nice different take. Yes. Because usually like Harry would like attack and like think and ask questions later, but Newt is like the guy who makes sure everyone is okay. Like the animals, the humans, like. And I'm not knocking Harry Potter. I'm just saying that Newt's style is also a really excellent style that I like. I like Jacob. Yes, I agree. Best character in this movie. Best character in this movie. In all honesty, I think an underrated one, and that no one talks about because Jacob and Newt are like front and center. I like Tina Goldstein a lot. I think she was the standout for me. When I first watched Fantastic Beasts, I thought she was the standout. She's just like, or trying to do right and just figure out, and she's trying to uncover the truth. And I like that scene, the flashback scene. I like that scene where she knocks down, or she knocks out the belt of Credence's abusive mother. I thought that was
Mhm.
I thought that was really awesome because like she's not above, she's a moral code and she will use magic even though it gets her in trouble, So like
Yes.
she saw as Ezra Miller getting beaten up and she used magic to
Not Ezra Miller, Credence.
sorry.
Ezra Miller's the actor.
Yeah, she saw Credence getting beaten up and she used magic to get him out of that situation. I like the fact that I like the expectation subversion. I really thought that the obscurest for the entire movie was that little girl. The little girl in the orphanage. I didn't know it was Credence until like 2 seconds before it was revealed. Like, oh, okay, it's him.
Yeah.
Really?
I was really.
I like thought it was
Yeah.
obvious that it was him the whole time.
No, I mean like
Because he was just like down and depressed, and I'm like, this kid's got something bottled up inside of him.
well, okay, I was like 15 when I watched it, so I was like maybe I didn't really like see it until. I mean, I guess when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, it's obvious. But when I first watched it, I was like, that subtle like transition to Credence being like the bad guy. I was like, oh my god, it's like, oh my god, he's really the bad guy. I mean, that's just me. I mean, it was
Yeah.
no
Yeah, to each their own. I didn't say you were wrong. I just meant more like, to me, when I watched it, I was like, okay, it's this kid is the dark power, the evil thing, whatever.
I mean, like, here's the thing though, like every time, like there were lots of scenes. Well, sorry, there were a few scenes where it focused on the little girl, and it seemed very mysterious, because of the score, and
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
seemed to be something weird about her, like something
Yeah.
maybe special. Like also, like how like the Obscurus would kill the congressman. Like the little girl was actually there when he said all those bad things to Credence.
Yeah, that's why. Hence when I watched the first time, I really thought that Eric, that little girl was the one to get to. It's like Obscurus. It's like you have to be really young, right? So like I really thought that girl was the one to get the Obscurus. That's why when it happened, when Credence was to be revealed to be the dark creature, I was like, oh, okay, it's him. Wow, I didn't expect that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they did that, because like they had that little sequence where the kids are going out to hand out their pamphlets, and then they show her and they have this like dark kind of music, and then she throws the pamphlets out, and I think they did that to kind of make us thinking that she's the Obscurus, but she's not. So I have a point that you're not gonna like, Santino.
Oh no, it's your opinion. We all have our own opinions. In here, we have our own opinions.
I like Tina, but I find that they're not doing a good job of showing her personality, because I don't really know her personality too well. Like each of, like, I would say that, would you guys agree that the main characters are Newt, Jacob, Tina, and Queenie, but might not be Queenie anymore?
In the first movie, maybe.
In the first one, yeah.
Not the second one.
True. But the thing is I find that Queenie and Jacob and Newt, automatically I have these immediate things that I associate with them, or these immediate things that are part of their personalities.
Yeah.
Tina, I don't know, I feel like we don't get as deep and personal with her,
I have to.
What comes to my mind when I think of Tina is just like a stickler for the rules. That's about like all I can associate with her.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like I hope that in the future ones they establish her a little more.
Yeah, they didn't really give her much range in the second half of the film, when it was like, this is your time when it's like, okay, we've established she's a stickler for the rules, but now that we're diving deeper into who she is, it's time to open up this character a little more, and they never did, it felt like.
Yeah.
Erica, I agree with you there. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Queenie really was underdeveloped in the first movie.
You mean Tina?
Sorry.
Tina.
Yeah.
Well,
Queenie was awesome in the first
Queenie's
movie.
the best. Well.
Oh wait,
Was.
sorry, I mixed them up. I'm so sorry. Well, okay, yeah, but
Blonde and brunette, Santino. Come on.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Then I disagree, because I really like Tina. I think she was. I like her romance with Newt and all that. So, and yeah, okay, I guess she needed a bit more development, but I was fine with what she got. And although I do think in the second movie she didn't get enough screen time, and we'll get to that. But I like Tina in this movie really a lot. So yeah.
And I have one more. My biggest disappointment in both of these is the costume design. Okay, so my problem here is that, I know we shouldn't be comparing them to the Harry Potter series, but it's the same world. And in that world, we have all these awesome robes and colors and all these different things. And in this, they're just wearing average clothing that they wore in that era. And that really bothered me because I think the costume team could have been so much more creative with it. And I'm not saying the costumes weren't good. They were nice costumes, but they weren't. They could have been so much more creative in regards to wizarding robes and whatnot. And
I think they get worse in the next one.
Yes, I have way more points with the next one, but that was just a big disappointment for me.
Oh, well,
I mean, they have to fit in with the Muggle world as well because they.
Well, when we went into the Ministry, it wasn't.
I think the one who got the best costume there was the president. I think the president looked nice.
She was the only one wearing a costume.
Yeah, she was only wearing a costume. But everyone was wearing suit and ties, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't mind it, but it's I can see where you're coming from, where you have this elaborate wizarding robes, you have McGonagall and Dumbledore and Snape wearing these awesome wizarding robes, and you can tell their personalities from what they're wearing, and then in this one it's suit and ties for every.
Literally it was average clothing from the 1920s, which is where it's set. So it's nothing exciting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. And I won't knock you down. It's certainly Harry Potter had way better costume design than this one. And to be honest, I never really paid attention to the costumes. I'm really sorry. That's
okay.
I mean, but to me, looking back on it, yeah, I agree. Maybe, I mean, Voldemort and his Death Eaters looked unique between the Hogwarts staff. So I agree there. The costumes in Crimes of Grindelwald and Fantastic Beasts were really different and
special,
yeah.
I mean, it seemed like the most we got, like you said, outside of the president, was probably Newt himself, with just his brightly colored jacket and his tie and all that. And it's because back then it was just, you didn't really see a lot of colors like that. But I mean, other than that, it just, in Harry Potter, you could differentiate the wizards from the Muggles. In this one, you can't. They all look the same.
And with regards to in this one, I understand that it seems like the American Ministry is a little bit more concerned about the statute of secrecy, so they're probably telling them to wear normal clothes. But when we went into the American Ministry of Magic, they were all wearing the same thing. They were all, there was no robes, there was nothing exciting.
I think
I'll get into it way more with Crimes of Grindelwald, but that was an even huge major disappointment. Ugh.
How about you, Kevin and Eric? You've been quiet. Any thoughts on the costume design or anything in Fantastic Beasts, the first one?
Well, for problems, I think my problem would be there was a bit pacing issues for me. It was a little slow and it could feel a little too long at times, especially in the second and third act when we focus, for me, a little too much on catching the beasts. Although I will say it was a lot of fun watching. And I would say Grindelwald, even after seeing Crimes of Grindelwald, Grindelwald was just a little off in this film for me. Mostly because, for me, it was because of his lines, and the lines also had weak delivery, and he just looked a little goofy in the first movie for me. I don't know why, but he always sticks out like a sore thumb for me.
Are you talking about him as Percival Graves?
No, not as Percival Graves. When he's captured.
The entire film, Percival Graves. Oh, you're talking about Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah. No, not Crimes of Grindelwald. No, at the end. At the end where Newt captures.
That was one scene though.
Yeah, it's one scene. How could he be off? How could a character be off that we've never met before?
Yeah,
I don't Well,
That
it
was-
just, I don't know.
So
It just always bothered me for some reason.
Alright, so I do agree with Erica on the costumes. Now that I look back at it, when like Percival Graves was like fighting the Aurors, I do agree. All I remember from their costumes was just a bunch of long hats and a bunch of ties. I do kind of agree with you that it was kind of bland a little bit for the costume designs.
Yeah. And like in my opinion, I like how Fantastic Beasts balances light and dark. I mean, like literally, you have one scene with Newt catching like these beasts and doing the mating dance, and like in the very next, like a few scenes later, you have Tina going on a literal acid trip where she's being hypnotized to die. Man, that was scary,
That
honestly.
was dark.
The death penalty of American Wizarding World is insane. That's painful. I mean, like you're hypnotized with good memories and you get enveloped with acid. That was, I mean, like okay, that's like my favorite part of the scene. Like that's insane. Like is that their equivalent to a Dementor's kiss? Because that is painful. What do you guys think on that? You know, that scene where
That was dark.
Yeah,
That was-
that was dark, right? And like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys think on it? Because I really liked it, but I'm not sure if you guys did.
I liked it. That was one moment that I liked because that was the first time they actually kind of established a bit of Tina's character.
Yeah, exactly. See,
They showed that part of her, using magic on Credence's mother that showed a little bit more heart. I liked that part, but it was one of those things where it was like, we know that they're gonna save her.
Yeah. True.
But and I like that little moment where like she was about to end up going in there and then Newt was like, I'll catch you, I promise. And it was just a sweet little moment. They're so cute.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Newt is such a dork and it's in the best way ever,
Yeah, I agree. And of course I think the main part of this movie I like are the beasts themselves. They have a great design. I mean, each beast they catch is unique. You have the erumpment, the elephant, the rhinoceros looking thing. Is that what's it called?
I
I
don't know.
don't remember what any of those things were called.
The only thing I remember is the Niffler.
Yeah, the
That's
Niffler.
Yeah.
I should have researched this.
That was my one.
Okay, the Niffler was
Robbing the bank, basically.
Yeah.
And the little
Oh,
shit,
the
what
invisible
was his
guy.
little friend who was always with him? His little
the boat truckle. I know that the boat truckle, the stick guy.
what was it? Pickwick or something?
No, that's
Pickett?
No, his name.
what?
It was like Pickett or Pickwick or something. Who
Yeah,
cares?
Pickett. There you go.
Okay, yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed that creature, animal thing, whatever it was.
I like
Yeah.
I like the serpent looking thing. You know, the thing that goes smaller when it goes into the cup. That was
That was a cool scene.
yeah.
it was.
Where,
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna bring that up. The scene at the department store, Macy's. That was a really, really, really cool scene. That whole thing. The special effects are definitely really good, and I think that's partly to do with the fact that special effects technologies have improved since the Harry Potter movies. I think they were done really well. And that whole scene with the Macy's, and then the scene with the jewelry store. with Newt's like running all over and breaking everything, and then Jacob's kind of like freaking out. It's like, oh, okay, this is not good. He's just trying to look all, and then the police show up and they're both covered in all these jewelry, and then the police are just like, uh-oh, and then Newt just, I think I don't know how I can't remember how they leave, but that whole scene was just hilarious. I love that so much.
One of my favorite lines from that scene was like when he said, New York is considerably more interesting than I expected.
When the line was released from the zoo. Yeah, because of that rhinoceros thing.
yeah.
So let's talk about probably definitely has to be one of the weakest things, and I can't believe that this is what they actually chose to go for the end. The magical, mind-wiping rain.
Oh,
I cannot believe that is how they chose to do it.
I liked it.
It didn't make sense.
I
And
know,
then it
but
makes even less sense in the next movie.
I did.
I mean, I still didn't get it. I mean, how did it affect people inside?
Yeah, that's what I wondered as well.
I mean, it showed like the water
What
went
shower?
there, but I'm a little confused by that as well.
Yeah, like what if they were just sitting at their table and
Or
not
what if
doing?
they left town? What if they were there the day before and then they left or something?
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a little
that's true.
confusing. But
I liked it honestly.
All right.
I think it makes sense. It does leave some plot holes, but I like that whole sequence where they had the bird fly over and create a storm, and
It was
and
so cool.
it was really cool. But it does create plot holes. But I think anything that's cool has plot holes in regards to like fictional worlds. So,
Yeah, I mean, like look
Fair
at
point.
Avengers Endgame. That's cool, and that has plot.
The whole movie's a plot hole.
There, okay, I said, all right. Movie has problems, all right. All right, so
but yeah, with that ending, I'm not gonna lie, that scene when Jacob basically like voluntarily walks out knowing he has to get his mind wiped, I thought that was
So
really
sad.
sad.
it was so sad. It was heartbreaking, and Queenie was sad too.
Queen puts the umbrella, and then they kiss, and then she removes it, and then that's when his memory gets wiped. It's like, wow, that was.
But then,
That was touching. I really liked that scene.
and then they end it with Queenie going to his bakery, or no, I like
I love that part.
that Newt gave him the eggs. But the thing with the eggshells I don't get is how on earth are those worth anything in the
Well, they were silver, don't forget.
oh, they were silver, okay. But one of the things that I liked with at the ending is they had Queenie go into his bakery and then Jacob just smiles like crazy.
Yeah, because what
really
I thought was I thought they were gonna like start over their relationship or something and like go forward with them still dating, but him not knowing anything about her anymore. But
So
nope.
what I did like about the memory charm scene and Jacob being his memory being wiped was that when Jacob asked, "Why'd you keep me around so long?" and Newt said that I like you and you're my friend, I genuinely cried because like it just shows that Newt is not really a social person. It's like kind of showed in Crimes of Grindelwald and other stuff, but here he does genuinely like Jacob. It's just shown here. I can tell you about that.
There's some headcanons that a few people have. There's a headcanon that I heard of that they think that Jacob might be a squib.
Oh,
so that's why they think that the memory rain didn't affect him as much because there's still something in there. That's a headcanon that I heard. It's nothing has been officially announced. I just heard it from different people with headcanons. And then there's also a lot of people think that, they obviously didn't really know much about this in the 20s, but Newt's character was kind of designed to be somewhat seem like he might be on the spectrum.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice way to think about it. Like Newt is like on the spectrum of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does everyone know what that means? That
Yep.
means like the spectrum of like Asperger's and stuff like that. So things like that.
Yeah. I saw one headcanon where Newt could be autistic. Like he.
Yeah.
I actually prefer that because it's like, hey, look, anybody can be a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
like,
I think that's part of the reason. I remember hearing something about when J.K. Rowling was creating Newt of wanting him to be this kind of off, adorable person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like,
I could see it.
If anyone hates Newt, they are heartless. I don't understand how anyone could not like his character. Like
No,
not like.
Yeah, but I've never met a person who hates Newt at all.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, what I liked about the bakery was that Jacob's breads were
in the shapes of
the beans. Yeah, that was so cute. I was like, wow, that's so sweet.
that was
cute.
awesome.
Did anyone actually want to try those because those just look delicious?
The rhino horn thing looked like I wanted to eat it. Yeah. Or if they do make it, I'm so down to eat one of those. All right. So last thoughts on Fantastic Beasts.
I think it was good. It was a sweet story, and I like the new characters. I like that there's more variety in the characters. And I think, like I said, the only main thing that I really, really, really hated was the costumes.
Okay. Chad?
Really enjoyable. It was, like I said at the beginning, nice breath of fresh air after basically four dark movies in a row. Felt good having a nice little lighthearted adventure with some dark elements thrown in, and it was off to a good start of the spinoff series.
Off to a good start.
Was off to a good start. That's right.
Kevin, Eric, last thoughts.
For me, I really, really enjoyed the story. Like, it was just a lot of fun. I loved the characters. Like, I love Newt, Jacob, and Tina. They were pretty cool. And, this got me very excited for the Fantastic Beasts series, which I'm still excited for. And I gotta say, like, one thing, like, I kind of noticed was, like, it was starting to mature a little more, because, like, with all the, with abuse and all that, and Grindelwald killing a bunch of people in the beginning. So, like, this film was able to set up, like, yeah, it's going to be a little lighthearted, but it's going to be a little more mature than the, like the books and films were.
Yeah, going off with what Kevin said, I liked the film. It was really fun. It also kind of, like, showed us for what was going to go to Crimes of Grindelwald, being more darker film.
Yeah, for sure. So, my thoughts overall, yes, fun film, great introduction to Newt, Tina, Queenie, Jacob. I like what they did with the world building. I really like American Ministry of Magic. I like the creatures. The dark elements were amazing. Like, when they were there, when they were present, they were cool. And Colin Farrell as Graves was honestly one of the best characters. And it's a shame that we won't see him in the second one. And if he's in the third one, great. I am excited for him.
I'm about 80% sure that he is.
Oh, that's fantastic. I want to see more of him. Like, I want to see like, because it was Grindelwald, Paul is using as him for the entire time, so I want to see what the actual guy is like. Maybe he's actually a really sweet.
He did. Now that I've seen Crimes of Grindelwald, I want to say that Percival Graves did a really good job acting kind of like Grindelwald. Or I guess Johnny Depp did a good job going off of what Percival Graves was like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's a better way to say it.
Okay, so that's it for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And here we are. Crimes of Grindelwald. Game time. Oh man.
Junk.
Okay, we're gonna divide. We're gonna keep this all civil, all right? All right. So Erica, Eric, Kevin, you like it. Chad and I do not. So this is gonna divide us. But like I said, in this podcast, everyone has their own opinions, and we're all unique because of it. So we're gonna do this pros and cons style. Pros of Crimes of Grindelwald and then cons. And I'm gonna get into the cons a little more, but we're gonna. All right. So pros first. Kevin and Eric, you're up. What do you think? Pros.
Alrighty, so for me, there are a lot of pros for me. Like, it had a lot of great action. I loved the score. There was good acting. There was a lot of, like, pretty astounding visual effects. And I also liked it how the film had a lot of high stakes for me, because, like, Grindelwald was so powerful, or that's what I got off, like, from the opening. Because, like, in the opening, you were able to see how he was able to, like, manipulate people. Like, he already got someone from the previous movie to his side. So that's what I thought that showed how much power he had with his words and with, his wand, because he was extremely powerful in both those ways.
And also, like what Kevin said, he also was also so manipulative that he was kind of able to get Queenie onto his side as well. I do also like what he said. He got a ministry worker on his side, and he was able to switch places before his transfer. That's what I found really impressive. I also like his entire character in general, like how complex he is.
Same.
Okay, how about the air? Is that everything, or you want more, guys?
Well, like, I kind of want to save some stuff because it is a lot, but, like, is it okay if I can go
Yeah, go. You say your positives.
Okay, say my positives. Okay. Like, I really, really love the third act because everybody is at their most vulnerable, like when they're at the Grindelwald's rally. Like, Newt is targeted by Grindelwald for beating him in the last film and for his close association with Dumbledore. Like, Tina is with a bunch of people who hate Aurors. Jacob and Queenie have had a bit of a fallout on the last movie, and Queenie really wants to be with Jacob, but she can't because of the no-match laws. And like, Credence is desperately searching for his family and who he is, and Lita Lestrange just revealed to everybody that she killed her brother, and she is aware of how many people really hate her, including her father. So, like, when we got to the choices part, like where everybody had to choose the side, that's when I realized that's what the true crimes of Grindelwald were, because his true crime was dividing the wizarding world to the point that people had to choose sides, and basically there's going to be a war coming now. So that's what I thought was the true crimes of Grindelwald. And like, the score was just beautiful. Like, Spread the Word and Wands into the Earth are some of my favorite tracks in the wizarding world. And like since everybody had to choose a side, they sacrificed something. And the characters that chose a side, they all lost something. Like, wait, I wrote it down. Yeah, so like with Nagini, she lost Credence. With Newt and Theseus, they lost Lita. With Jacob, he lost Queenie. So there was all that stuff.
What I also liked was the speech scene that Grindelwald gave. Like, I just genuinely like that scene because he came off as convincing. Like, he made it sound like he doesn't hate the Muggles or No Mages, but he thinks that they're more dangerous than the wizards ever are. And I do like how they depict World War II, and in the films and other stuff, it says that the duel between him and Dumbledore came at 1945.
All right, Erica, you're up. Positives.
Okay, I have a few points that I really, really want to talk about. So I'm just going to go over the smaller ones, and then I'll go into the other ones. So the music was really great, did a really good job setting the mood. I really like some of the newer characters, like Grindelwald, and getting to see Dumbledore, which that's one of the things that at the end I'll talk about a little more. I like that they put in Nagini. There's a lot of mixed opinions there, but I think it's actually really cool because I like, in general, just hearing backstories of characters. And I never really think of Nagini as a character, but then when you see this, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to her. And I really like Lita. She's really, you can see that she's kind of broken a little bit,
Yeah.
And I think the actress who played her, which was Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, I have all that written here. She did a really good job. Okay, one of my favorite lines is when Newt is asking Jacob how to talk to Tina, and then he's like, just tell her what you like, and then he's like, oh, she has eyes like a salamander. And then Jacob's like, no, don't mention anything about no salamanders. And it's just hilarious.
Later when
That line is so Newt, and it's just that is honestly, that's one of my favorite lines. And then I really liked, again, the French Ministry of Magic.
Yeah.
And then okay, hold on a sec. The little moments with Newt and Lita were sweet. Lita, not Tina. There's a little thing there. I really liked the young actor who played Newt in the flashback there. His name was Joshua Shea. He played young Newt. And first of all, that kid looks like he could be his brother. He looks so much like Eddie Redmayne in there. It's insane. And he did a really good job with that. And I really liked that actor who played him. And the rally. So one thing, I will admit, this is not I didn't attach these two. I think I saw it in a YouTube video. So with the rally, with the blue fire effect.
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of people are talking about is if Queenie's going to come back to their side. And then, so do you guys remember in Goblet of Fire, he's this goblet and it had this blue fire coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then Barty Crouch says that it's a magical binding contract.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's connected somehow with the blue fire.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
What if that?
Good point, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a good
Yeah.
point.
I didn't figure this out. I think I think it might have been a video in the Super Carlin Brothers. They're really great. They do a bunch of Harry Potter YouTube videos. I suggest that you guys check them out. And then the ending lines, the whole moment at the end where Lita's about to like sacrifice herself and she looks at Theseus and Newt and she says, "I love you." And then we're like, who did she say it to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so these are the big parts that I really, really love. So first of all, I totally agree there. Grindelwald is a very, very interesting character. And he's one of those villains where it's like you see he's evil, but he has this thing about him that makes you almost like him. And honestly, he's my favorite character, and I'm super, super excited to delve more into his character. And I really, really am interested to learn more about Grindelwald and Dumbledore. I think Jude Law did a good job as Dumbledore. And one thing I noticed that they both did is that the few times where they mention each other's names, there's like a facial expression difference.
Mm.
There's something that they both kind of make some kind of, you can tell there's a moment where it's kind of, the character means something to them. And okay, the whole scene with the Mirror of Erised, I love that so much. It is so good, and Jude Law did an incredible job. The expressions, the memories, like he did amazing. And Jamie Campbell Bower, who plays young Grindelwald, and Toby Regbo, who plays young Dumbledore, they actually played them in Deathly Hallows Part 2, where they show the photo. No, I think it's one and two. I think
1 and 2.
they have the photos of them, and then there's that brief cameo where they have Grindelwald jumping out of the window. And I'm really, really excited. I really, really hope that they bring both of them back to do flashback scenes.
I'm sure they will.
But I have a few more points there. I just I don't know. That whole part of it is something that I'm really excited for, and I really liked learning about that. And the line "closer than brothers," that was really good.
Yeah, it was that.
Apparently it wasn't in there originally, and then I heard that it was Jude Law's idea to put that in when they said they were as close as brothers, and then he said that part of being closer than brothers, you know?
Yeah, that was a good idea. Anything else, Erica? Or
the special effects were really great. Again, it was really cool to see Grindelwald. The way he speaks is, I would almost compare him, his character is so interesting in that he's evil, but he doesn't feel evil, but we know he's evil, do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would almost compare him to Darth Vader in that like at the end of the original Star Wars, we end it with like he's evil, but there's that pinch of goodness in his heart. You know?
Yeah, so Grindelwald is like Vader in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why doesn't Chad go now?
Yeah, Chad, positives.
None.
None. Oh my God.
No, I didn't like this
dude,
movie at all. It was long. It was boring. They downplayed Tina's role. They've destroyed Queenie. What she did, that opening scene with what she did to Jacob was like sickening that they did that to her character, and they gave her no redemption. So that's a character destroyed that I liked. Leta Lestrange, absolutely pointless. Set up in the first movie as this mysterious, who is that woman in the photo, and then she doesn't really do anything except clearly not really love her husband, and then gets herself killed for no reason. I mean, she basically pulled a Loki in Infinity War. She knew she wasn't going to beat Grindelwald, and she killed herself. Yeah, the movie it was long, it was boring. I wasn't invested in anything. Grindelwald was cool, I guess. But no, I didn't like, and jumping right to the end where I'm sure we'll discuss it more in a minute, I thought that ending was atrocious.
The ending, the last scene.
Yep.
Where out of nowhere it's like, okay, yeah. So Chad, you really have no positives at all.
No, I don't like this movie. It's dead last out of all of them. And it's gonna take a very compelling story for the third one to like get me to go see it in theaters, because I'm probably never gonna watch this one again.
Okay. So positives, I guess, for me are Jude Law's Albus Dumbledore was great. Johnny Depp as Grindelwald was also really great. The flashback scene was amazing. I liked the flashback scene. I agree with Erica. Like the young kid who played Newt Scamander was good. Really focuses on really like he can act like Eddie Redmayne. I love the Mirror of Erised scene where it shows that Grindelwald and Dumbledore they really have a special connection. I agree with Erica where Grindelwald is not at all like Voldemort. He just wants he has different intentions. Voldemort wanted to destroy anyone who wasn't pure blood. Grindelwald just wants the wizards to
free.
To be free. He doesn't want to destroy. Like,
he reminded me of Magneto from X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the comparison. Magneto in X-Men, if you've seen him, he doesn't want to kill humans. He just wants mutants to be free and not be controlled by Muggles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but yeah. So okay. So positives out of the way, negatives. Oh man. Here we go. I think I should start. I don't like it. I don't like the decisions they made. And this is just my opinion. Again, everyone has their own opinions, but I don't like what they did with Jacob at the beginning. The way they put him back in the story was forced. It didn't make sense at all. It reminded me. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. It reminded me of. Have you guys seen the Men in Black movies?
No.
Ages ago. I don't remember it.
Chad, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so.
Yeah, they suck. Those movies suck too, though.
In Men in Black, I'll explain what I'm talking about. In Men in Black, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are partners in the first movie, as J and K. That's their code names. And the best part, the thing that sold the first movie, was the fact that their partnership was great. And at the end of the movie, K basically says, "Wipe my memory. I don't want to be a part of Men in Black anymore. You're my successor."
Yeah, he retires and mind wipes himself.
Yeah, he retires. He mind wipes himself and says, "I'm gonna be out. I wasn't training a partner. I was training a replacement. You know everything already. I want to go back to my life with my wife and done." And he gets mind wiped. And then Man in Black 2, it basically just undoes that entire thing where like we need K back. His wife left him and he's back out of nowhere. That's just I don't like that. That's the same thing I don't like with.
It's pointless. Don't end a character's arc just to hit the reset button in the next one. It's pointless. It's bad storytelling.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that the way Jacob came back was just like it was just so, in my opinion, it was so forced. It was out of nowhere. It didn't make sense at all. I really didn't like it. I feel like the main problem, in my opinion, with Crimes of Grindelwald, in all honesty, really is the oversaturation of characters. There's just way too much people in this movie.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, there's like way too much people like if you want, you could have like cut down characters and put them in the next movie, and the movie would have been better. Like Nagini did not need to be in there.
Pointless.
Not,
Served no purpose in this film.
I mean, like, yeah, she was interesting to see and nice backstory of like
She was literally there just to go, oh my gosh, look, this is where Nagini came from.
Yeah.
And now when you go back and rewatch it, it's, oh, Neville didn't kill a snake. He killed a human.
I mean, like, yes,
that did bad things.
But I don't like Nagini. I didn't like her being there. If J.K. Rowling wanted to add her, she could have added her in like the third movie where you could give more screen time. Theseus, Scamander, and Leader of the Strange could have been saved for the third movie. They did not need to be in the story at all. Yeah, in my opinion, they could have been saved in the third movie. I don't like the fact that Jacob is in it. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I would have preferred. I spoke with this with Chad a few days back. I would have preferred it if they focused on why Queenie turned bad more, and at the end of the movie, Newt calls Jacob back to help him because, hey, Queenie loved you. Maybe you can change something in her and make her go back to our side, right? I don't think.
Yeah, the idea you went over with me when we talked about it after I watched it was much better than what they did in the movie.
Yeah, I would have preferred if Jacob was out the entire time and then Queenie turned bad. Focus on her turning bad, and then like bring Jacob back at the end, and that's what you set up for the third movie. Like Jacob's gonna come back to help Queenie turn back to the light side. I think that would have been a better story than Jacob just being in it here just for kicks, you know.
And the way they did it was so bad too. Oh, you remember? It only erased bad memories, and none of them were bad.
Yeah, that was
like,
See,
really?
That's where I think the whole thing was. I think Jacob might be a squib.
Yeah, okay, but it's never.
I just assumed it was Queenie who used her mind reading powers and did something, but no, it was just they didn't even get creative enough with that. It was just flat out. I remembered because it was good. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Could I go? Or are you still going?
Oh yeah. Last thing, I would have preferred honestly if they focused more on Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
That'll be the next one.
Huh? What?
In the third one, they literally J.K. Rowling says that the third one, Dumbledore will be the main character.
I hope so. I really hope so because that's like.
He is. It's a fact.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not really focused on that one. So if J.K. Rowling said that's true, great job. I'm hyped for the third one. I don't like the twist at the end. I really don't. The twist,
pointless and
the
terrible.
Twist was bad. It's never said in the entire HP saga that Dumbledore had a third brother out of nowhere.
Also, let me just say that.
And what were the chances he was on that boat too?
Dumbledore's mom died in 1899, and Credence was born in 1901. So, unless his dad had some kind of love child while he was in Azkaban.
And what were the chances that they were on that boat also?
Yeah.
And why were they on that boat?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Like, okay, so unless Grindelwald is manipulating Credence into thinking he's something special.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Then what's the Phoenix doing there?
Yeah. What's the Phoenix?
And what's this sudden Phoenixes come to the Dumbledores nonsense they started talking about?
Yeah.
I think that makes complete sense. I actually really like that because she brings in the whole thing with Fox. I think that makes complete sense, and I think that was really smart. The whole thing with the Phoenix.
Okay, yeah, that makes.
I like that quite a bit.
Okay, that makes sense to me, but like it's not set up at all. And J.K. Rowling never said that Phoenixes come to Dumbledore's in her entire HP saga.
Well, because now by setting up something like that, now they're taking a character, Dumbledore, who was just started out as a normal wizard and got very powerful, and now we're suddenly taking the whole Dumbledore family and putting them up on a pedestal where Phoenixes have allegiance to their family.
This is the point of this movie series. Is J.K. Rowling wanted to show Dumbledore's story. She wanted to show this. So she literally created all these backstories for these characters because she wanted to. Like apparently she was working on writing this for 7 years before it was even published. So I remember seeing a bunch of interviews about her literally doing backstories on majority of the characters. But could I go on to my points now?
Yeah, sure, go.
Yeah. So the costumes again.
Yeah.
So the part here is Europe isn't as high strung about the whole hiding wizards from Muggles. They do want to hide them, but they're not as constantly concerned about it.
Yeah.
And the first point I'll bring up is when we go into basically the France's version of Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
You know, where the circus was, and they're all wearing Muggle clothes. I mean, literally, there's no Muggles here. This is a wizarding neighborhood, and they're not wearing any robes. It's literally like it felt like we would almost go back in time going to Harry Potter, where they're all wearing all these interesting robes and all these things like that. And why do they have the elves now? Where were my elves in the original series? I am so upset about that. And the inconsistencies with the Polyjuice voices, with regard to that little part where Newt turns into Theseus, and then in Fantastic Beasts, Percival didn't have Johnny Depp's voice.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with the Lestrange family archive thing in the French ministry, I did not like that scene because, first of all, Newt and Tina ended up having this intense conversation while they were breaking into the ministry, and it's like, you don't do that. If you're breaking into the ministry, you got to go quick. And there's this line at the end of the rally scene where Grindelwald says, "I hate Paris," and I'm just like, that's such a dumb thing. I mean, it's not funny. It's an intense scene, and it's supposed to be an intense scene, so don't end it with a little bit of humor. And then at the end, first of all, how on earth can Jacob see Hogwarts? Muggles can't see Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Unless
The
it's
thing
theory.
with Aurelius Dumbledore. Okay.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It makes no sense because, first of all, like I said, his mom died in 1899, and I don't know. The only thing I could think of, instead of if they did want this to be real, instead of making him his brother, make it like his nephew or something, like maybe Aberforth had a kid somehow, something like that. But I think my headcanon is that he's not Aurelius Dumbledore, and he just did that to
I agree.
did that to just give him some hope that we know who he is. But yeah.
Like, can I go now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like one thing I would like to say to that is like don't like Grindelwald has basically used Credence in the past before in the previous movie. Like he lied to him when he said he was going to train him, and then he ditched him as soon as he got what he wanted. So maybe that might happen again. And with the whole Aurelius Dumbledore thing, I'm pretty neutral on it. Like I want to see where they're taking it first, and if it like breaks canon, then I'll probably hate it. But like right now, I really have no opinion on it because like I have mixed feelings about it, and I want to see like where they're taking that. And I think my issue I would have with it is like, yeah, I do kind of agree there were a bit too many characters, which meant there was less screen time for the characters. So like while I did feel like the screen time for some of the characters were decent, I do feel like there was a need for more screen time with the characters, because if there was more screen time, I think it would have made certain scenes more impactful and powerful.
It's not that it wasn't more screen time. It's the fact that
it's for me at least. Like it was so big that she couldn't include like many of the scenes that I felt were necessary here.
Right.
Like that's how I see it. But I don't know.
Eric, you have any negatives for Crimes of Grindelwald?
Alright, so with my thing, I didn't like the film, but I think the second act kind of bored me a little bit. I kind of got a little bored with kind of the middle of the film a little bit, where I felt a little uninterested at some parts. I think it would be around when Queenie was like at that sidewalk basically, where she was like crying. I think I kind of around that point I kind of got a little uninterested.
I see. Chad, this is you, man.
The whole movie was a negative.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just going to repeat what I said earlier. I didn't like anything about this film. That's why it's like I'm not really saying anything, because it's like it was boring. The movie sucked, plain and simple. They got way too overambitious with trying to tie everything together instead of just going along and telling a story. It was doing too much setup for future stuff. They destroyed characters. No, this movie's not good.
Okay, that's it.
I mean, I could go. I don't remember half of the new characters' names because there's too many of them.
Okay.
I feel Grindelwald was fine, but I feel like he was barely in it. And it just Dumbledore was pointless. Dumbledore didn't even need to be in. Okay, there we go. There's a huge one. That stupid blood oath thing was completely pointless.
Okay.
That was just dumb. Just don't even have Dumbledore in the movie if that was the whole point. That he was in the movie to set up that there was a blood oath and it was the reason why he couldn't fight, but they got it at the end and they're just about to undo it. So what was the point?
Well, the whole point of this series is literally the backstory of Dumbledore.
Yeah, but saying that now,
so
but the series started off as Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. By keeping that name on the movies, it's still Newt's series. So if you wanted to tell Dumbledore's story, fine, but you got to drop the Fantastic Beasts part then. And Newt's not the main character anymore.
Well, in the third one, apparently he's not going to be the main character anymore. It's going to be Dumbledore.
So are they still? So what are they going to change the title to? So the first two will be called Fantastic Beasts, and then they're going to drop it, or now Dumbledore will be the main with Fantastic Beasts as the title? See, it's like you said to me, Santino. They should have dropped the Fantastic Beasts when they did Crimes of Grindelwald.
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
No, I was saying I was agreeing with you when you said that to me.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It didn't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Like that was a good title for the first one, but it's not needed anymore. That's not what the story. That's not the story they're telling now. Now they're telling a completely different story.
Right. Erica, you were saying?
The only thing that I just want to say, Chad, is like, I think that the whole point of this series is literally like, she wants to tell Dumbledore's story. And so starting with the third, I know I'm talking about the third movie that, isn't going to be coming out until like, I think December of 2021. But the third one is going to be focused on Dumbledore. That's what it says. It says there's going to be more of a focus on Dumbledore. Part of it is going to be in Brazil, I think. And then we're going to be at Hogwarts a little bit more. And so I think having Dumbledore there was, giving us a little bit more information. But I do agree that they should. I would have loved if they put more Dumbledore in there. I think the Blood Pact was really cool, and might partly be because I love that scene so much, because I'm so intrigued by that relationship between the two of them. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. And like I said, I'm really, really hoping that they bring back Jamie Campbell Bower and Toby Regbo to do some like flashbacks to their summer together. If they don't do that, I will be pissed. Like so pissed. And I'm literally looking for hints. Like I have been looking into interviews with into those actors to see if there's any hints of what they're doing over the next few months. But yeah, I think you're being a little overcritical with regards to this movie, because you're just looking at what's the point, but it's like literally it's a story. Not everything has to have a point.
Right, but it also was extremely boring. There was too many characters, and it just didn't. I don't know what I was supposed to get out of the film. That's what I mean. Like the first one was just a fun story that was setting up what the world was like back long before Harry Potter was born. And then this one, I just didn't understand. I don't even think they knew what they were going for with this one because I didn't know what they were trying to accomplish. What were they trying to tell us?
True. But like I said, I don't think it's perfect. I think there's definitely negative things. And one of the things that I hope that happens in the third is that I've heard that they've realized that. And I think because J.K. Rowling wrote the script. And I think one of the things that I think she kind of had to change her mind a little bit is in regards to things like entertainment. So for example, if they told the Harry Potter story exactly how it was written, it would be a little bit boring at parts.
Right.
Like they had to make different things that were more exciting and cooler to show. And I think, sometimes that can be part of it. But I liked it. I think it could have been more interesting. There's a little bit disappointment there. And I know it seems really strange that I'm all caught up on the costumes, but the costumes, like even at the rally at the end, they were all wearing boring suits. These are all wizards. They should be wearing cool robes and things like this and that. And it's just like, ugh. I want to swear, but I don't know if we're allowed to swear in this. So I'm swearing if anyone can hear this. And just the costumes is it doesn't make any sense because they have the French version of Diagon Alley. There should have been all these exciting colors and different things like that, but there's nothing. And I really didn't like that. I think the costume department literally showed no creativity. They could have created this entirely new style of like wizarding stuff in the 1930s, but there's nothing. It's literally clothes from the 1930s. That's it.
Oh, and McGonagall and Dumbledore were over 100 years old, by the way.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
If they were already both teachers when Newt was at school, yeah, I doubt they were both like 18 years old when they first became teachers at Hogwarts.
No, Dumbledore was a teacher when he was at Hogwarts. When Newt was
I know he was. That's what I'm saying. But don't forget, that's what I'm saying. So and Newt was at Hogwarts, and we'll just say the 1910s probably. And if Dumbledore was already a teacher, he would have had to have been late 20s, 30s. And what year did he die again?
96?
97.
97 or 98, yeah.
Yep, so he was probably over 100. And McGonagall, how old is she now?
Yeah, McGonagall.
Over 100 as well?
That's like the most weird thing.
Yeah.
McGonagall, I think there's
fine with the entire, like I could like let those other things slide, but I cannot get around the McGonagall thing. Like I constantly question.
Supposedly, if this follows canon, McGonagall is still alive and Cursed Child. So, and that's when like Albus
She was born after.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't be born yet.
Yeah, she shouldn't be born yet at the time. So I don't know why McGonagall is in there.
I read somewhere that if that really is her, which I'm pretty sure they said that is her from the Harry Potter series, she would be around -7 or 8 years old for that to be possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely somewhere that they messed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
What were they thinking?
There's no way that could be it. Her father was a Muggle, and that's where the McGonagall name comes from. There's no way that could be it.
It was a plot hole. They messed it up, and I don't know whose fault it was, but it's definitely a big plot hole. But I think whenever you're creating prequels or sequels, there's always plot holes somewhere. There's not anything like that you can't find plot holes in.
Yeah.
Well, those are simple ones. They either could have just, if they knew they were going to do this from the beginning, changed the year to the late 30s or something.
Yeah. True.
Don't show McGonagall or Dumbledore as teachers yet. I mean, it was all avoidable stuff that they easily could have gotten away, that they easily could have made decisions on early on. But it was just, honest to God, to me, it was just hey, look, here's a character you recognize. Throw them in the movie.
Oh, same thing with Nicholas Flamel. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
no
pointless.
purpose there. He had no purpose, and I didn't really
Nothing.
understand what the whole thing was. I mean, that whole end of the, like, was that supposed to be blue fiend fire?
Yeah, like
What it
the
looked
blue
like.
fire.
And like, it was really cool, but I don't understand what Nicholas Flamel did. Like, what
Nothing.
was his purpose
He was
there?
there. He was there to be the one to call the charge to put up the shield.
Yeah. That was kind of dumb.
Pointless. Just another bit of eye candy to go, oh, look, here's a character whose name you heard in one of the other movies. Pointless.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we hope to see in the next one?
To wrap this up, like
Yeah.
quick wrap.
Yeah,
up.
let's wrap
What do
this
you
up
guys
now.
want to see? Chad, you go first. Let's hear it. You know, because like.
I don't know. I'm not. There's a reason I don't work in Hollywood. Coming next, I don't know. Like I said, it'll have to be something big to get me involved again. But I thought it started out good with the first one, and I hated the second one. So it mixed bag. But hey, the first one was good, so I'm happy I got that one at least.
All right. Erica, you.
I'm really excited for the third one. Like I said, one of the big things that I'm most excited for is more about Dumbledore, and I'm excited. I really want to learn more about Grindelwald as well. He's a very interesting antagonist. Antagonist is the bad guy, right?
Yeah, antagonist. Yeah. That's right.
He's a really interesting antagonist, and I think that it'll be really cool to see what happens. And I'm excited to learn how they're going to destroy the blood pact, because that'll be really cool. I don't even know where that's going to go, and I'm really, really hoping that they're going to bring in Tom Riddle somehow,
Possibly.
because Tom Riddle, I think, was born around the 30s, and I think also what's going to happen, I really hope this happens, is that they bring in Hagrid too,
Oh yeah.
and then Hagrid's going to meet Newt, and they're gonna like bond over stuff. I really hope that they do that, because that'll be really cool to see. And I think it'll be cool to learn more about Credence, and I'm excited for the next one. I really hope it's gonna be better. And the only thing I'm a little worried about is I heard that, you know, they brought in Steve Kloves to help.
Oh Jesus. Oh no.
I hate Steve Kloves, mainly because he plays favorites with the characters.
Yeah.
The worst part is that he takes characters that he likes and makes it all about them and forgets that they have flaws. And I like characters with flaws, so I'm really nervous about that. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I think Johnny Depp did a great job as Grindelwald, and now that the world is seeing that he's an awesome person, and I don't want to get into all that, but I think I really like that Warner Brothers stuck with him and didn't fire him like Disney did with Pirates of the Caribbean. I think Jude Law did a good job. So yeah, who's next?
Kevin, Eric, final thoughts.
What I hope to see in the third Fantastic Beasts film is we go into more depth with Dumbledore's and Grindelwald's relationship. I kind of want to see more of that. Did get a brief description of that. I do kind of want to see more of that. It's kind of what. When you go.
Alrighty, for me, I gotta say I loved the first one. It was nice to be back in the wizarding world, and for me, I really liked this is an unpopular opinion now. Like, I really liked the Crimes of Grindelwald, because, like, you know, it was pretty interesting to me. Like, they decided to go into the more darker stuff, and like they focused a lot on people's choices, along with sacrifice and all of that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm really excited for the third one, and I'm just excited for the next Fantastic Beasts movies. I just hope that J.K. Rowling can maybe trim the fat a little bit, because I'm hoping the movies don't get too big, because I'm worried that we may get too many characters and then it may lose me. So let's hope she can stick the landing with the other three.
That means that we have to kill characters off.
Ugh. I mean,
Probably.
she's not opposed to that. I mean, okay. So for
She
me,
breaks our hearts.
yeah,
Taking all of Harry's father figures.
yeah. Practically everyone was killed. And so for me, to wrap it up, what I hope to see, I agree with Erica and Kevin, Eric. I want to see what happens with Dumbledore and Grindelwald. That's what to me. That's why I don't really hate this movie as much as Chad does. I mean, I don't like it, yeah, but I don't hate it. Like it's not like nothing was good about it. Things were good about it in my opinion. I like the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. I like what they showed, and if Erica, if that is the main focus of the third one, then perfect. I'll be interested. I'll be interested to see.
That's what I heard. I'm just clarifying that I don't have any facts.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited about it, I have been doing research and going off little hints that I have. I'm not a source to clarify anything. Don't go by what I say. These are just rumors that I have heard. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay, then.
so that wraps it up for the entire Harry Potter or Wizarding World saga. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you enjoyed going on this journey with us and listening to our different opinions. That's what makes it interesting. Thank you so much for listening. This is Santino signing off. Guys, would you like to say goodbye?
Bye, everyone. This is Erica. It's nice talking to you all.
Alrighty, signing off. Don't forget to check out my channel. It's called the KFC, so don't forget to check that out.
Yes, and please, if you want to check out Erica's Tumblr, I'll also put a link below in the description.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. We will see you soon.
Yes, bye, guys.